Howdy everyone, I'm James Clark. I'm an active duty soldier and senior here at Colorado State University. I'm currently pursuing a degree in interdisciplinary liberal arts with a minor in political science. I'm also in a jump program for a Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership through Western Kentucky University. This is my intellectual autobiography. When I think of formative events and influential people throughout my life, the very first thing that comes to mind is my kindergarten teacher, Miss Macy, and a project we did for Halloween. For this project, we had to color Frankenstein, and the assignment called for Frankenstein to be colored green. I wanted to color Frankenstein purple, so I did. And Miss Macy promptly gave me an F in coloring. I'm not sure what kind of teacher gives a 6-year-old an F in coloring, but nevertheless, it forever changed my outlook on my education. From that day forward, I remember thinking that I never wanted to fail again. And for the most part, I didn't. I threw my life into education throughout middle school and high school, National Honor Society, varsity football. I did it all. And truth be told, I burnt myself out. After high school, I took a gap year, and looking back on it, that was probably the biggest mistake, academically at least, I've ever made in my life. After that gap year, I enrolled at Georgia State University, pursuing a degree in business administration, but that year away from school really just took me out of the educational mindset. I didn't do very well, and I dropped out. Shortly after, I joined the Army, and I found great success in the Army. I've always worked at least one level above my pay grade, been very successful throughout my time in the Army, and that led me here to Texas A&M University. I got here and started teaching freshmen in military science in the fall of 2020, and at about that same time, the Army instituted a new physical fitness test. That physical fitness test was fairly quickly determined to be sexist, and for good reason. 77% of women were failing one event, and 93% of all women were failing at least one event in the test overall. My boss at the time was a great woman, one of the best women I've ever met in my life. Her and I, we had a conversation about this, and we both agreed that the Army just was not doing enough, and they weren't doing it quickly enough either. So we implemented our own program for our young female cadets, and we wanted to make sure none of them failed, and none of them have. But that still wasn't enough. See, most people don't realize that your fitness test scores directly relate to your promotion, which directly relates to your pay. So this summer, I took a Composition 300 argumentative writing class. And in that class, my project for the class was to draft a memorandum to Congress, specifically the House and Senate Armed Services Committees, about this physical fitness test, about how we needed a more equitable test for both men and women. In that class, I really found my current academic interest and focus, which is to pursue a PhD in sports psychology. Through this, I hope to link both kinesiology and sociology to come up with better systems for the Army, to truly implement a fair and equal system for all. In order to do this, I hope to leverage two skills that I think are strongest in myself. They are perspective taking and intellectual dexterity. For perspective taking, I find myself in the unique position having been in the Army and been all over the world and seeing how people live in different states and different countries and under different conditions. That allows me to approach problems from all different angles and find solutions that most people wouldn't even know to look for. For intellectual dexterity, I've really gotten to flex those muscles here at Texas A&M through teaching the freshmen through a very difficult transition from civilian life into a military lifestyle. I've been able to right-size the language to teach military theories and tactics to them using a language they can understand, while providing for them the smoothest transition period possible. One thing that I always hope to develop in myself and really could use some developing across the world is empathy. Oftentimes people confuse sympathy with empathy or just don't get empathy completely right. Brene Brown put it best when she said that empathy is feeling with people, it is perspective taking, it's a judgment-free zone, and it's recognizing an emotion and being able to communicate it. And it's all four of those. Most people get one or two, but very rarely are they able to capture all four and truly provide an empathetic response to someone. And I think we can all agree that the world needs a little more empathy. Again, I'm James Clark. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.